Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming our guest of honor, Mr. Chee Hong Tat, Senior Minister of State, Ministry of Transport, to the SmartPort Challenge Grand Final 2021.
Alright, welcome. The SmartPort Challenge Grand Finals is also being streamed to an even wider audience globally, so let the countdown begin. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and friends who are joining us online to our SmartPort Challenge Grand Final 2021. My name is Ning, and this is Jessica, and we're your hosts today. So we're extremely excited to be here in person because the last time we met was virtually over Zoom during the launch for SmartPort Challenge sometime in June. So
the action today we have is all right here in I3 building at the National University of Singapore. So we have our guest of honor, Mr. Chee Hong Tat, Senior Minister of State, Ministry of Transport, and Professor Freddie Boy, Deputy President, Innovation and Enterprise, NUS, and Mr. Ngiam Chiang Ming, Chairman of the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore.
And guess what? We also have friends and colleagues watching this session live at I4 building in NUS, so shall we go say hi?
Yeah, absolutely. Calling out to our friends at I4. Hello!
Hi, Melinda. How are you doing?
Hello! Hi, everyone. Okay, it's almost a full house here. You see many empty seats, but that's because we have safe management measures here. So we have many people ranging from shipping companies, port and terminal operators, and industry partners such as the Global Center for Maritime Decarbonization and Workplace Safety and Health Institute. So we are all excited for the show to begin. So everyone, let's give our colleagues at I3 another big wave. Bye, see you in a bit. Hello, see you on a live stream.
All right, well, it looks like it's a lot of fun at I4, but also present here are our partners, including Singapore Shipping Association, Singapore Association of Ship Suppliers, Enterprise Singapore, and our 2021 Grand Finalists. And of course, we have Pier 7 partners and friends who are joining us online.
So SmartPort Challenge is an annual competition for global tech ventures to reimagine their solutions for the maritime sector. It's co-organized by MPA, NUS via NUS Enterprise, and TNB Ventures.
And this year, we have 17 innovation opportunities supported by 21 maritime organizations. And they cover areas including smart port, smart ship, smart maritime services and logistics, crew safety, training and well-being, as well as green technologies.
Yeah, and Ning, do you remember how challenging it was when our expert panel had to sieve through over 150 applications and narrow it down to the 18 that went through the 7-week acceleration program, and that was co-organized with NUS Institute of Engineering Leadership. And then our semi-final judges worked even harder to choose the top 8 that we're going to hear from today.
Yeah, so hats off to the finalists for completing the Accelerate program. That was 7 weeks long, fully online. Some of them who are based overseas basically had to dial in at 2 a.m. in the morning, so kudos.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're keen to meet and speak with any of these 18 finalists, you can also find their contact details on our microsite. That's spc2021.pier71.sg. So without further ado, may I please invite our guest of honor, SMS Chee Hong Tat, on stage to deliver the opening address. SMS Chee, please.
Professor Freddie Boy, Deputy President, Innovation and Enterprise, NUS. Mr. Ngiam Chiang Ming, Chairman of MPA. Ladies and gentlemen, our friends who are joining us online, very good afternoon. I'm delighted to join you at the grand final of the Smart Port Challenge 2021. I apologize for being slightly late because I went to I4. I got the place wrong. But looking at our participants, our audience who are at I4, I must say they have very nice safe management stickers in heart shape. It looks very nice. It's almost like saying, don't sit here because we love you and want to keep you safe. So, ladies and gentlemen, challenges such as COVID-19 pandemic and global supply chain disruptions have brought out the resilience and tenacity of maritime Singapore. We have sailed through rough seas by working together with our tripartite and international partners. And we have made good progress in areas such as digitalization and decarbonization. But we're not stopping here. Even though Maritime Singapore has done well, we're not going to stop here. We're not going to rest on our laurels, because one of our ambitions is to aim to be the Silicon Valley for maritime technology, or marine tech. We believe Singapore is well positioned to excel in this area, as we are a leading global hub port and international maritime center. And we are combining our strengths in technology, digitalization, with our strengths in maritime. We have an innovative and skilled workforce, and we have talents from diverse sources and disciplines. And our strong tripartite partnership and pro-business regulatory environment gives us a further boost to be a living lab to test out marine tech solutions. To spur innovation in marine tech, MPA initiated the Smart Port Challenge in 2017. The challenge is now in its 5th year, and I'm very happy to know it has grown from strength to strength. This year, we have 151 startups from 25 countries who applied to tackle challenge statements ranging from port operations, shipping, and sustainability to crew safety and supply chain management. 18 startups were selected to participate in Pier 71 Accelerate, which is a 7-week program to connect with potential customers and to validate their proposed solutions and business models. 8 have been chosen to pitch at the grand final today. I'm happy to see a wide range of expertise being applied to tackle the challenge statements, including artificial intelligence, data analytics, robotics, and automation. The Smart Port Challenge is a core program under the Port Innovation Ecosystem Reimagined at Block 71, or Pier 71 for short. Inspired by the success of the challenge, MPA and NUS Enterprise started Pier 71 in 2018 to strengthen the marine tech ecosystem in Singapore. Pier 71 supports entrepreneurs from ideation to acceleration and connects startups with demand drivers, technology partners, and investors. Having a good idea is a good start, but it is not enough. We need the ecosystem to be able to nurture and support and scale up these good ideas to take them from ideation to implementation. So far, Pier 71 has supported 32 startups to pilot their solutions with 50 maritime partners. 13 startups have deployed their solutions, and 8 have secured investment funding. For example, DLT Ledgers, a 2018 Smart Port Challenge finalist, provides a blockchain platform for cross-border trade and supply chain digitalization. It was part of the successful electronic bill of lading trial between Singapore and the Netherlands earlier this year. And recently, it secured $7 million in funding, which is a record amount for a Pier 71 alumnus. So congratulations to DLT Ledgers, very happy for them. And I'm sure that their success is also a testament to the good support that NUS Enterprise, MPA, and our industry partners, our ecosystem partners have provided to them. And I hope it can also inspire and encourage other startups to follow a similar successful path. So to build on this success of Pier 71, MPA and NUS Enterprise have agreed to renew our collaboration for another 3 years. In this new phase, Pier 71 will be enhanced to provide startups with structured access to NUS resources, including business support, deep tech capabilities, recruitment, mentorship, and customer networks. I would like to thank NUS Enterprise and Professor Boy for their contributions to grow this successful partnership. And I look forward to the new opportunities that our collaboration will bring. Let me now talk about how we are further strengthening our programs in Pier 71 to go for growth in marine tech. At the launch of the Smart Port Challenge earlier this year, I spoke about what it would take for Singapore to become a leading marine tech hub. Now, setting challenges is important, but we know that alone is not enough. We must support marine tech companies with access to markets, technology, funding, and talent, and to enable good ideas, to be able to grow into scalable solutions. The many companies operating in our Global Hub Port and International Maritime Center act as demand drivers to identify innovation opportunities for startups. And as part of this new phase, Pier 71 will launch Ascend. It's a 12-month by-invitation program to support the scaling of mature startups and groom them into global champions. We still want to encourage more startups, but for the companies who are ready to go further, we want to help them to grow by shifting from the startup phase to the scale-up phase. Both are important. You need to create a good ecosystem of startups. Now, not every startup will succeed, but if you create a large enough ecosystem with enough startups, some of them will succeed. And we hope to be able to identify those with the growth potential and help them to scale up. And I think this is a continuous process. If we do it well, you're going to have a good pipeline of marine tech companies. Pier 71 Ascend will include curated masterclasses, industry networking sessions, and an annual immersion program to help connect startups to overseas markets and government stakeholders. And this will help our startups to access new customers, to develop better product market fit, and export their solutions overseas. Through Pier 71 Ascend, we hope more startups could follow in the footsteps of GleeTrees, the winner of the 2017 Smart Port Challenge. GleeTrees first developed a software tool to automate manual processes such as data entry in shipping agencies. It has since expanded into other sectors such as finance, insurance, and manufacturing. Today, it has customers across the Asia-Pacific and has set up a subsidiary in China. So this is a good example of how a company started in maritime, expanded into other areas. We have other examples that go the other way. They were originally from another sector, and then they apply their technology and their solutions to maritime. Doesn't matter. Both ways are good. As long as in the end, they create a product that can solve practical problems, are in demand by customers, I think that is really what we are trying to do. So this is the first important area. The second one is access to technology. And we are enhancing the marine tech ecosystem's access to physical and digital technologies. Our partnerships with research institutes and institutes of higher learning enable startups to tap on key technologies and translate them into deployable solutions. Under the enhanced Pier 71, marine tech startups can now be linked up with NUS's Industry Liaison Office and tech experts who are working on maritime-related fields for mentorship and to tap on their expertise to be able to bring the solutions to the cutting edge. MPA is also growing its physical and digital sandboxes to support trials and experimentation through the MPA Living Lab. Earlier this year, we launched the Maritime Drone Estate at Marina South Pier to provide a conducive space to develop drone technologies for maritime applications such as shore-to-ship deliveries and remote ship inspections. I think there's potential for drones to do more, but it's also partly our comfort level, and that's why we need to test. That's why we need all these regulatory sandboxes to experiment, to test, and to prove that these concepts can work, and then we can scale them up. MPA will continue to provide regulatory support for trials and other technologies, such as underwater robots and autonomous vessels. And in the digital realm, the Singapore Maritime Data Hub provides live data from MPA to enable the testing of digital solutions. For example, 2018 Smart Port Challenge finalist Claritex developed the Bunker Maestro platform to optimize bunker fleet operations and tested it using the Data Hub. Today, I'm happy to announce a new data sharing collaboration between MPA and Wärtsilä. We will witness a virtual signing of the MOU later to mark this collaboration. Under this MOU, Wärtsilä will share vessel information from their Naviport system, such as predicted arrival times, with MPA's just-in-time port coordination platform under Digital Port SG at SG Phase 2. Based on arrival information, the ship agents will plan the itineraries and book the services such as pilotage, bunkering, and repairs. Masters of arriving ships can review these itineraries on the just-in-time platform. By enabling resources to be deployed based on adjusted arrival times, this data sharing will reduce ship turnaround times and enable marine services providers to serve more vessels. It's actually a win-win for all the players. And I'm sure the ship owners would appreciate this as well because it reduces the waiting time and the turnaround time. And this is something very crucial to shipping operations. So I'd like to encourage more industry and marine tech players to come forward and work with MPA to develop new solutions to optimize the whole suite of different services that we provide in our port. There are many more which we may not even have started, or we may not even be aware that a solution exists. But in the process of the discovery, the discussion, the trial and experimentation, I think we will find out what are these new opportunities and apply our minds to it, bring new technology solutions, new ways of doing things, and we can co-create these innovative solutions. So we also want to link up with different port platforms through the Digital Oceans initiative. I'm pleased to launch the first version of the application programming interface specifications for port clearance developed under Digital Oceans. And this is an initiative involving industry players to promote greater system-to-system interoperability across the global maritime transport chain through common data standards. Very important. I mean, it sounds very basic, but very important. If you don't have this, you can't exchange data, you can't interconnect, and we can't allow data to flow. You want to see the information from end to end, if possible. And so this is something which we think is quite fundamental. We need to get it done. Ship operators and other supply chain players, if we can do this, will enjoy smoother port clearances at ports that use this API for submission of information. Startups and other marine tech players can also tailor their products to utilize this common interoperable API to develop port clearance-related solutions and potentially expand their market reach to more ports and shipping lines, including supply chain companies. So that's technology. Third, access to funding. MPA has partnered Enterprise Singapore's Seeds Capital to provide co-investment funding from 6 venture capital groups for promising marine tech startups. Pier 71 has also brought 3 additional VC partners on board, and these have provided a total funding amount of $80 million. VCs provide not only the financial resources that startups need for their scaling up, but they also provide expertise in shipping, in technology, decarbonization, and many different fields. And this will ensure that the developed solutions will have a good fit with what the industry needs. And through the enhanced Pier 71, we'll strengthen our engagement with the VC community by launching structured investor networking and pitching events. These will facilitate discovery and deals between the VCs and the startups so that the $80 million that is made available can translate into investments for deserving startups. And to further boost access to funding, MPA recently established the Mint Startup Grant. The grant awards up to $50,000 to Pier 71 alumni to pilot their projects. Scale-ups can be awarded up to $100,000. To benefit a wider pool of startups across the ecosystem beyond Pier 71, MPA will extend the Mean Startup Grant to startups identified under recognized partner programs in Singapore. So these programs are Eastern Pacific Shipping EPS Ventures, Ocean of Opportunities Challenge by Ocean Network Express or ONE, and Symphony Creative Solutions, SCS. There's also the PSA Unboxed and Rainmaking Innovation. This will encourage the industry to share your expertise and to actively partner, mentor, and incubate marine tech startups. So those within Pier 71 programs, of course, we will continue to support them, but these are other programs, and they will reach out to, I hope, a larger group, a larger ecosystem of marine tech startups. And through these efforts, we can grow a stronger and more vibrant marine tech ecosystem. Last but not least, access to talent, very important. To succeed as a leading marine tech hub, we must remain open to talent from around the world. And we must welcome individuals with different ideas, skills, and perspectives to become part of Maritime Singapore. The Smart Port Challenge welcomes participants from all over the world. This openness to talents and to ideas has been very beneficial to Maritime Singapore and is something we must continue to preserve. For example, Kanda, a 2019 finalist, was originally based in Denmark. He has developed a virtual reality course to train crew in LNG bunkering procedures, and it moved its operations to Singapore. Kanda has recently received an investment of $2 million in seed funding from a group of investors, including EPS, which is also a company that is headquartered here. Kanda is also giving back to the ecosystem. It was one of the sponsors for the inaugural Maritime Digital Challenge earlier this month, where more than 120 students from our institutes of higher learning developed new solutions to challenges set by marine tech companies. The winning team was from Nanyang Polytechnic. They used virtual reality and game-based learning to address the challenge from Kanda to develop an app for online maritime operations training. So at the same time, working with the tripartite partners, we hope to be able to grow a strong Singapore core for our industry by attracting and developing our workers to take up new opportunities. With these new opportunities in marine tech, we want to be able to expand our reach to students beyond maritime-related courses, to include software engineering and data analytics, and to offer them internships and career opportunities in marine tech companies and startups. They may not start off with maritime in their courses, but it doesn't mean that they cannot join a maritime company or take up a maritime career. So this is something which we hope can reach out to more young people in Singapore, our students, to consider maritime actually as a potential career path, or as MPA would say, make maritime your port of call. We recently launched the Career Conversion Program, CCP, for sea transport professionals and associates to help meet career individuals who want to who want to transit to new roles within the sector. And this is a good opportunity for marine tech startups to bring in these mid-career individuals because they have experience, they have skill sets which they bring from other industries, from their background, and they can add to what the startups need at this stage of their growth. And what we want to do is to be able to equip them with the maritime knowledge through the Career Conversion Program. So we welcome marine tech startups to tap on these initiatives to be able to draw in talent and to be able to bring the various resources and schemes to access markets, technology, funding, and talent. So these are the four very critical ingredients for us to create a vibrant marine tech ecosystem. And if we can do this well, I think it will allow us to grow the ecosystem. And so what MPA will do is we will put in place some of these resources through a marine tech startup playbook to provide a useful reference for the industry. And I hope that startups and also those who are thinking of forming a startup, that you will find this playbook to be useful. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude my speech. As Maritime Singapore emerges from the pandemic, one key thing we want to do together with our tripartite partners is to go for growth. And we believe this is important because when we go for growth, we are able to attract more investments, we are able to create more jobs, we are able to enlarge the economic pie. Our ambition is to be the Silicon Valley of marine tech because we believe that this is going to be a very key driver for Maritime Singapore in the way forward. And as I mentioned earlier in my speech, we have strengths in technology and also in maritime. We hope that this initiative will benefit investors, startups, researchers, workers, and also eventually the global maritime industry. We previously announced our ambition to triple the number of startups supported by MPA's programs, from about 30 in early 2021 to 100 by 2025. Now, with this renewed efforts to support marine tech companies with access to markets, technology, funding, and talents, MPA, and led by Kenneth, has decided that they will take up my challenge and raise their target further from 100 to 150. So a further increase of 50. So you were going from 30 to 100 initially, now 30 to 150, 5 times. So this 5-fold increase is certainly a stretch target. We are not 100% certain if we can achieve it, but we will certainly give it a shot, and we will do our best. And with your support, even if we don't reach 150, I think we will be able to reach as many as we can. And that will then give us a boost, that will give us a further boost to our ambition to be the Silicon Valley for marine tech. So in the same spirit, I hope that regardless of who wins this year's Smart Port Challenge, all our participants will continue with this spirit of daring to try. And if you fail, pick yourself up again and try again. And this is how Maritime Singapore has succeeded and how successful ideas can become world-beating innovations. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, SMSG. I'd like to invite Professor Freddie Boy, Deputy President, Innovation and Enterprise, National University of Singapore, on stage to deliver the welcome address. Prof. Boy, please.
Senior Minister of State, Mr. Chee Hong Tat, Chairman, Mr. Ngiam Chang Ming. I also do apologize for being late. However, I don't have the excuse that I went to the wrong building because both buildings are part of my territory. Anyway, good afternoon to everyone. On behalf of the National University of Singapore, I'm delighted to welcome you to the grand final of the Smart Port Challenge 2021. To everyone watching this live stream, thank you for joining us. Pier 71 was established more than 3 years ago by MPA and NUS Enterprise to boost innovation in the maritime sector. This joint partnership has been a strong combination with MPA, bringing the maritime industry roadmaps, strategic directions, and NUS bringing our world-class entrepreneurial ecosystem, know-how, and global network. And together we have built a vibrant community of entrepreneurs, maritime veterans and experts, investors, researchers, and more. As has been mentioned by SMSG, NUS Enterprise is happy to be renewing our partnership and expanding significantly the scope of Pier 71 to not only enable tech startups and entrepreneurs to accelerate their time to market, but to reach a level of global recognition. To support this, we will be launching Pier 71 Ascent, a new program for scale-ups that are looking for market expansion and growth. It will be a 12 months customized program with specific milestones tailored to each scale-up. Through our wider NUS network and entrepreneur programs, Pier 71 Ascent will include an immersion component to allow these scale-ups to gain an in-depth understanding of the local business environment of an overseas market and to make connections with relevant corporate and industry stakeholders. We do expect that the nomination process for this first intake to begin in the first half of 2022. In addition to the introduction of Pier 71 Ascent, we will continue to enrich the overall Pier 71 program with access to the university's varied technologies, talent, research, and global network to complement MPA's initiatives and uplift the advancement and adoption of marine tech. As I often tell people, the universities have two things that we have a bit of a monopoly on. One is talent that has been self-filtered. It's not easy to get into NUS, by the way. So you have this self-filtered talent. And the second is the huge amount of IP, thanks to the government's very generous research support. And my job is quite simple, monetize this IP, at least if not in monetary form, in societal impact. More than ever before, of course, the companies need to innovate rapidly. That's a no-brainer. The ability to have new technologies out of the laboratory and launch them at startup speed will set apart winners and losers. And for this reason, our game in NUS enterprise has always been, you don't need more money, you actually need less time to move to the market faster. At NUS, we already, in these last 3 years, have a good model, in fact, a proven model for what I call venture creation. There used to be incubators, and then there is accelerators in the Silicon Valley, but today we talk about venture creation, the whole 9 yards. Our model in NUS is based on two elements. I mentioned that, world-class intellectual property and a proprietary method of launching deep technology startups in the fastest possible time. A key example that we have is our platform, the Graduate Research Innovation Program, GRIP for short. And this has become a significant platform for us. Just to give you an idea, in the past, NUS would have done probably 10 to 12 deep tech startups a year. Since the launch of this program, we have hit past 60 a year. In 2022, our ambition level is to hit past 100. These are the numbers that can move the needle. And so we are delighted to support this program in a similar way. The GRIP probably now contribute one of the largest number of deep tech startups in Singapore and looking to do even more. We are happy to see last year's Smart Port Challenge winner, BX, also a GRIP alumni, secure a 7-digit seed funding led by CapVista, the strategic investment arm of Singapore Defence Science and Technology Agency, DSTA, just 3 weeks ago. This has been the result of 10 years of research and development in underwater self-driving technology, which started out as a student project, no less. We are very thankful that through the GRIP program, they finally come out with a startup that is now able to receive this funding. The hard work that has been put in led to commercial solution that is now being used by 2 government agencies, solar farms, coastal jetties, refinery plants, and being piloted for the hull cleaning in the maritime industry. Another GRIP alumnus and Smart Port Challenge winner, this is in 2019, is Dravam. They have completed a first-of-its-kind test bedding pilot project on board a Singapore-registered bunker tanker under the supervision and guidance of MPA. The project involved retrofitting the cargo line of the bunker tanker with Dravam's skid to gather flow data wirelessly from the tanker. Currently, the system is live and providing real-time operational insights on the quality of fuel during both loading and delivery operations of the tanker. They are now gearing up to conduct projects on board receiving ships in the coming month, aiming to herald efficiency and transparency in bunker operations in our ports. In a race to emerge stronger when the economy recovers, NUS continues to support our corporate partners in their corporate innovation programs. This includes matching of deep tech and innovative solutions to solve business challenges, access to the NUS talent pool, and thirdly, access to global network of startups and ecosystem partners that we have. The NUS Technology Access Program, TAP for short, will also be launching in the first half of next year, providing participants with exclusive access to NUS IP to increase their competitive edge. Participants will get to tap on this, puns intended, the NUS I&E DNA, discover technology trends, network with key players, and accelerate their program strategies through real-world applications, integrated curriculum, and guidance from dedicated mentors. It's a short 3 months, but during these 3 months, we will pair the participants with the inventors of the IP so that they can then come quickly together and proceed further to develop this know-how. This will benefit the maritime organizations in harnessing technology for new businesses, drive transformation, and seek innovations within existing business. For aspiring entrepreneurs, the NUS Masters of Science in Venture Creation is an immersive graduate degree, only 1 year, and it combines experiential learning with the academic rigor of Asia's top university. So we now have 3 programs that develop deep tech startup. GRIP for scientists, then TAP for the older, more mature workers who knows the market but just need to have good IP to back them up. And thirdly, for the young and promising new graduates who wants to enter the startup ecosystem quickly, 1 year master's program. It is encouraging to see talent flowing between the various NUS programs and benefiting from the accumulated knowledge and connections. 3 SPC finalists this year had come from our GRIP program, FlexoSense, Aeroville, and Violota. Despite being from different runs, Aeroville and Violota met during one of the networking sessions and realized they had complementary technologies in 3D vision sensors and AI vision analytics, and they could combine together into a powerful joint proposition. So this is exactly what they brought into the SPC. You'll be hearing from FlexoSense later, as they are one of the top 8 in today's grand final. The finalists for this year's Smart Port Challenge represents a diversity of technologies and background originating from Australia, Canada, India, France, Greece, and of course Singapore, Turkey, UK, and the US. 60% of them already have presence in Singapore, and we hope more will come over once the situation allows. We welcome entrepreneurs, innovators, and startups far and wide to access our ideas and technologies and to be part of our community. With that, I'd just like to thank our partners, MPA and TNB Ventures, for collaborating with us to create this platform for enabling tech entrepreneurs to reimagine the solutions for maritime. Thanks also to our SPC 2021 supporting partners, EDB, Startup SG, an initiative of Enterprise Singapore, and Singapore Shipping Association. I hope you're all looking forward to hearing the top 8 pitch today. I certainly am. Please enjoy the rest of the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Boy. And with that, I'm sure we all can't wait to hear from the startups now. But just before that, we have another very important group of people that we'd like to introduce to you, and that's the three wise men of today, our grand finals judging panel.
Yeah, and on our panel, we have Mr. Ho Weng Yu, Managing Director and CEO of Pacific Carriers Limited, who will also be the chair.
We have Mr. Ng Yi Han, Director of Innovation, Technology and Talent Development from MPA.
And lastly, Mr. Eddie Chow, Chairman and co-founder of VKey.
So what's going to happen next as our judges make their way to the tables is that each startup will get 3 minutes to pitch and another 5 minutes for Q&A with the judges.
And we have a very exciting lineup today. So 5 Singapore-based teams, 1 who flew in from France, took advantage of the VTL, and 2 dialing in from other parts of the world. And the first team to come up is EcoWorth, a clean tech company that unleashes the power, the potential of wastewater with a very special sponge. Andre, please.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Andre Stolz, and I have left my previous well-paid corporate job to follow my passion for sustainability to make an even bigger impact to environment and society. At EcoWorth Tech, I get to turn waste to worth. Did you know that over 2.5 billion liters of waste oil is entering the ocean every year, causing huge damage? Current treatment solutions are ineffective or often create additional waste, while legislation is tightening in almost every country. But what if we have an environmentally friendly and effective way to treat the oily water? EcoWorth Tech has a solution to it by turning waste to worth. Focusing on water treatment and oil decontamination, in the maritime industry, we are focusing on the oily water treatment for tanker washing, which is a great challenge, the treatment of the bilge water on board of the ship that is often being dumped into the ocean despite heavy fines, and we address spoil remediation in harbors and ports. EcoWorth Tech is commercializing an environmentally friendly super absorbent sponge technology that we call carbon fiber aerogel, or in short, CFA. This material, which I'm holding in my hand, can be made out of a natural waste material and is capable of removing a wide range of liquid organics like oils and grease, ultra efficient, up to 190 times its own weight. And like a sponge, through simple mechanical squeezing, we can reuse the organics and redeploy the sponge over and over again. This technology is patented, and EcoWorth Tech is bringing it into the right form factor. We recently have launched our commercial industrial heavy-duty filter, specifically designed for the oil refineries, to remove oil even during process upsets. The system is a plug-and-play solution, and our client is enjoying a 40x ROI compared to the current solution. Within the Pier 71 program, with our experienced mentors and renowned clients, we've been able to incorporate valuable insights into our solutions offering, and are addressing now, within the 3 specific areas, the challenges, and we're not only able to provide efficient oil removal of up to 99.9%, compared to other treatment solutions, we have a clear point of differentiation on the organic recovery, the positive environmental impact, and low cost. Our business model is centered around the sales of this carbon fiber aerogel material as consumables, and we've identified additional business potential. The team that brings this innovation to life consists of experts with both scientific and business expertise, and each of them is as passionate to bring this technology to life. At this stage, we've secured a multi-million-dollar sales pipeline, we're offering attractive financials, and we are working with renowned clients on product validation. We're currently raising $500,000 to convert additional clients into paying customers, while we validate the maritime applications before we go to full commercial sales and expansion. So if you do want to be part of this amazing journey to make a positive environmental and social impact, please support us. Thank you.
The time with the judges starts now. You can have 5 minutes. Yeah, judges, please go ahead.
My first question will be, when you say that it can be reused, right?
Yes.
How many times it can be reused?
It can be reduced several times, so I have an example here. We currently plan with about 5 times reuse. Over time, the material kind of slowly degrades because it's a 3D twisted carbon structure, and the efficiency goes down. However, even the used CFA has another life in road constructions, for example, or soil amendment. So it's a very nice circular kind of economy
So during
principle.
when it dissolved, would it affect the environment, the materials?
So as long as we take out the hydrocarbons or the organics, then the material itself is a kind of pure carbon material, and then it can be safely released into the environment. It even can act as a soil amendment. So it's like a carbon sequester, and it can help the soil with the nutrition content.
Right. My follow-up question is, just now you say you have generated multiple millions of pipelines. Do you have any letter of intent or firm orders already?
So we have one paying customer in the oil refinery. That is the example that I did with our super oil filter. For the maritime industry, we are currently talking to 3 companies in the specific deployment of each of the different applications.
My last question to you is, now you have quite a number of customers lining up and all this, right? You have one firm customers. I believe that during the validation phase, they have tested. Can you tell me what is the main reason why they turn to you?
Okay, so this client has tested our material for almost 5 months in the actual oil refinery, comparing our material versus their current methods. So they're currently using a series of coalescer filters that are very inefficient. They are highly maintenance, and they need to replace much more often. And during that time, the remaining treatment of the process cannot happen as efficient. So with our filter, it's a plug-and-play solution. So we replace 2 of the current coalescer filters. We reduce half of the maintenance. It's a cheaper filter overall, and we provide the client on more effective downstream water treatment.
Andre, I got 2 questions. One is trying to understand the cost effectiveness of this, that you're doing this away other solutions in the market. And secondly, the type approval required, because especially for maritime, that's a pretty important element.
Okay, that's a great question. So I have another slide here. Unfortunately, I can't show it. So in terms of cost effectiveness, this material can be produced with a continuous controlled burning process. So it does not require any chemical coating or expensive freeze-drying technologies like other sorbent materials do that. We also can use a natural waste material. So materials like, for example, empty fruit bunches, that is waste material in the palm oil industry, can be our feedstock material that we can convert. So we can take a true waste material, turn it into our sponge, and then we apply it into the different applications. Now for maritime, your question was what approvals do we require? I believe there's certain test standards that require, for example, meeting certain oil and gas content. So the oil content, like the oil and gas ppm limits. These ones we expect to meet because we can remove oil up to 99.9%. And then, of course, we need to ensure, especially when we go into the sorbent sections, that we can extract the oil out of the water highly efficient.
Okay. Yeah, I have a question on, in terms of go-to-market strategy. You mentioned that there's 3 different segments, whether it's oil spill, whether it's the oil tank, the tanks itself. What is your preferred go-to-market? As in, what is your priority in terms of go-to-market strategy? So that's my first question. The second question will be, I think it is also mentioned that the product can be produced using waste material and the byproducts can be recycled. How would you further capture value from that front? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Good questions. So the first questions, our go-to-market is that for, let's say, the bilge water treatment, we want to work with the ship owners to ensure that our filter is being installed on every single ship, right? And that the dumping of the bilge water overboard is being stopped, right? Because this is illegal and not good for the environment.
To answer real quick, 10 seconds.
Yeah. On the feedstock, so we we are qualifying local waste material, right? Where in the future we might even being able to monetize getting that feedstock, right? And then in the end, putting it later on back into the environment that makes a benefit. And that's why for us, there's not just a circular economy effect, but also an economic value that we can harvest as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Andre.
Okay.
Thank you, Andre. A round of applause to EcoWorth. Ning, I want to travel again soon.
Don't we all?
That's right. Do you think Mighty Fly's autonomous drone can bring me to California?
I don't know. You mean on a VTL flight might be possible? I don't know, but we'll have to ask Manal, who's the CEO of Mighty Fly, and she's up next. She's also dialing in. Hello.
Hi, Manal. How are you?
Oops.
Good, thanks for having me here today.
All right.
How are you doing over there?
Yeah, good. Do you guys hear me?
Yes, can hear you loud and clear. Wonderful.
Yeah, just do a quick sound check, and then can you bring up your slides, Manal?
Yes, I just started sharing my screen.
Okay.
All right, I think we have some technical difficulty. We just need to stall a little bit of time. Can we start?
Let me start sharing my screen again.
Oh, you just bring up your slides, that's all right. No sharing of screen. Okay, so we'll bring up,
Okay.
can you see your slides on the right? Okay, you do see the timer, right? It's 3 minutes, and that's all you've got to pitch, and another 5 with the judges for Q&A. Are you ready?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
we're ready for you.
All right, and your 3 minutes starts now.
Hi, everyone. I am Manal Habib, the CEO of MightyFly. At MightyFly, we're building the future of logistics via large autonomous cargo aircraft. We have an LOI, an MOU. We have built the full-scale aircraft, and we have performed autonomous deliveries and gotten our special airworthiness certification from the FAA. The current maritime ship-to-shore logistics suffer from many problems. It is slow, congested, constrained by schedule, and has high carbon emissions. At MightyFly, we can solve this. Let's see MightyFly in action. The secret behind the sauce is our autonomous aircraft, the MF-100. And I believe the slides are not advancing. Okay, we've got that back in track. So the secrets behind the sauce is our autonomous aircraft, the MF-100, carrying 45 kilograms, and the next generation carrying 245 kilograms. They both can perform multiple deliveries in the same flight route. The MF-100 has received the special airworthiness certification from the FAA, and currently is performing autonomous flights in the US. We're looking to start our pilot delivery service in Singapore as we see it as the port leadership, with already a maritime drone test bed and many companies interested in MightyFly technology. We see that Singapore will be our hub in Southeast Asia, the land of the multiple islands. And from Singapore, we're looking to do a pilot in Australia, who has already given us an LOI, and as well in the US and in Japan, with many companies interested in performing a pilot with us. And we're targeting a gigantic market of 60 billion. With our technology, we can save you money with up to 60%, providing a delivery service that is flexible and efficient, and on top of that, carbon neutral. And we are experts at this. Myself, I'm the CEO of MightyFly, and I have a long career in the aerospace industry, starting with MIT and Stanford. I'm a pilot and build and make own two-seater airplane in my garage. And our head of software and BD have 20 years of experience. And our advisory board has a variety of experience from logistics into starting a variety of companies into government relationships. At MightyFly, we have taken off, and we would love to build the future of maritime logistics together.
And Q&A. Okay, are we ready for Q&A?
Yes, 2 questions. One is, will it be able to sort of do refrigerated, for example, carry vaccine? Okay, that's one question. And the other question actually it is, what's the safeguard for this, your vehicle or flying vehicles? The reason actually is, for example, in Southeast Asia, we have a lot of tropical storm, I mean like thunders and all this. So it can be quite strong. So is there any safeguard that, for, to avoid this kind of safety issues that you can?
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of refrigeration and vaccines, we are going to have aircraft that can maintain proper temperature for vaccines and all type of medical products. And we can actually even take a full-size fridge inside that is made for our cargo bay. In terms of, I would say, taking care of the variety of weather conditions, the size of our aircraft is pretty much the size of a single-seater airplane. We're pretty much building an aircraft similar to general aviation, and we follow the same weather specifications and rules as general aviation. We are going to be looking at the weather and following aviation weather, and we will fly when the weather is actually permitting, as general aviation does. And when the weather is not permitting, we are either going to be in the ground or return to the nearest landing location, as same as general aviation does.
Yeah, thanks for your presentation. I have 2 questions. First question will be relating to the unique value proposition. I mean, today we see a lot of companies and startups also looking into such drone deliveries. So I'm wondering what will be the main unique value proposition that you present. Second part will be more on the technical part. The drone is meant to be fully autonomous. So 2 related questions. How would you handle on the cybersecurity considerations and challenges? The other part is in the event that there is regulatory challenges to run full autonomous operations, what's your fallback?
For sure. So the first one is in terms of the competition. Most autonomous drone companies are small drones. They carry 1 package and they can only perform 1 delivery per flight. The aircraft we're building is way bigger in scale. Our current aircraft can carry 36 packages, and the next one will carry 150 packages. The way we see it is we're marrying that economy of scale that we currently have in our logistics systems with autonomy to provide a solution that actually is better in unit economics while being faster, which is something that we're currently lacking. In terms of the security protocols, we use encrypted security, so it is actually protected from any kind of interference. In a similar way, I would say all the concept that we're following is very similar to general aviation. Like you cannot interfere with an aircraft in the sky, the Boeing or Airbus. We follow the same standards. I forgot your last question. What was that one?
Yeah, my last question will be relating to the fact that if you can run full autonomous operations, what's your fallback?
Yeah, so we have supervisory control over our aircraft. So you can think of it in similar how NASA has a control center supervising all the satellites in the sky. This is the same concept that we use for our autonomous aircraft. There will be a control station with few operators supervising the hundreds or thousands of drones that we have in the sky. And also there will be a fallbacks, which is autonomous control towers that are made by our regulations.
Hi, Manap. Yeah, just in interest of time, just follow up from Eddie's question. Just try to understand the cargoes that you're actually targeting, and and have you validated or tested operational feasibility with any ship owners? That's my first question. And second question is really around approvals of authorities. I mean, you have FAA approval. Have you looked into, in the context of Singapore, or areas where market which you are targeting, how are you going to address those issues?
Yeah, so for Singapore, we talked with the maritime companies, and the main interest is around the supplies for the ships and also for the fuel samples. As far as the regulations, we got on our special airworthiness certification here in the FAA, and we have spoke with CAS in Singapore, and we have discussed.
You can finish up your last sentence, Manal.
Sure. And we have discussed the full roadmap, and they have given us 3 months to give us a BV laws to perform delivery service in Singapore.
Okay, thank you very much, Manal. Round of applause to Mighty Fly. And Next up, we're going to have Mizzen from the US now going on to Australia. So Mizzen's going to show us ways to maximize profitability of every voyage using their price optimization algorithms. So John from Mizzen is going to be dialing in. Hi, John, can you hear us?
I can indeed. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. Okay,
Excellent.
we're just going to take a look at your slides.
Okay, let me just test out the clicker.
Yes,
Oh,
great.
fantastic.
Okay, all set. I think you can start whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Great. Hello, I'm John Charles from Mizzen, and we build price optimization software for container shipping lines. We've currently got our first commercial deployment underway now with a top 10 carrier, and we've assembled a team that has the capabilities to help change how a global industry sets and distributes prices to its customers. My background is container shipping. I was with NYK and with CP Ships before that, always working in pricing and in trade management roles. And our team combines the shipping industry experience alongside technology. The motivation for Mizzen was the inefficiencies I experienced in how shipping lines set and distribute prices to their customer. As a trade manager, my ability to maximize the profitability of each vessel was limited because I couldn't price dynamically and I couldn't access real-time information about data to guide those pricing decisions. But I could see how the right software could solve this. Our price optimization software enables a shipping line to sell more effectively online and create new value for their customers, and also to transition away from a reliance on manual processes towards data-driven dynamic pricing, and to get guidance about what price to set and what products and allocations to make available to their customers, so they can maximize the profitability of each vessel voyage. Now, to do this, our software integrates with the shipping line's existing operating system, so it can extract the required data inputs and then deliver an optimized price directly to the customer. The outcome is a more effective pricing strategy, and we do this by improving the forecasting process and then by creating a more effective delivery mechanism for a price, a dynamic spot rate. There are 100 container shipping lines, and they are our initial customer base. We know who they are, the size of their operations, and the state of their current digital transformation. Today, only one shipping line is using a full price optimization system. So there's a clear digital divide between these carriers, but it provides a clear competitive advantage. All shipping lines will need this functionality if they want to be able to compete for contestable cargo in the future and service their customers fully online. So we are well positioned to provide these lines the ability to compete online with a capability to match the market leaders. We operate a software as a service model. We've got our first commercial deployment underway now. The result will be a product that we can take to market with a clear implementation plan, validated business case, and a highly scalable solution. So for container shipping lines to be successful in selling online, they will need price optimization software. And we've built the right product for the right customer at the right time, as the online sales sector in container shipping is poised for rapid growth. And we're seeking investment to help leverage these opportunities. Thanks for the chance for us to tell you a little bit about what we're doing at Mizzen, and I look forward to your questions. Thanks.
Right on time. And judges, are we ready for Q&A?
Sure. Perhaps I'll start. John, thanks very much. I think it's a very interesting proposition. First, I'd like to understand, in terms of your price optimization, what is the additional revenue that you expect to derive from? And how it's that's based on certain basis assumptions that you use. And secondly, if it's going to disrupt existing practices, how do you see this, acceptance in the marketplace?
So there, on the first part about the potential upsides, you look at the McKinsey work. So they say between a 2 and a 4% is the potential uplift in revenue from using optimization for container shipping lines. We work with a partner to provide the forecasting and optimization component. And they have a background in airline revenue management. Their customer base sees about a 7% uplift. So I guess you've got to calculate the potential TEU dollar amount. It can be up to about $81 a TEU. But that's going to depend on the amount of cargo that you're selling dynamically online. And if you look at Maersk at the moment, about 25% of their cargo is being sold dynamically. So that's the sort of percentage of the market that is potentially has the ability to get that uplift, and you're looking at an increment about the about the 4% mark, and that's where the sort of 81 sort of TEU dollar range sits at. In terms of the part about sort of I guess sort of distributing or disrupting the market, we actually see it as a way of helping shipping lines create new value for their customers. At the moment, when they give a price, it's a price. There's a disconnect. Is there space available on a vessel voyage? And is there empty equipment available for that size type at the depot? Part of our proposition is helping shipping lines create a real-time inventory management system. So when they provide a price to a customer, they can make that commitment around the space on the vessel and the empty availability at the data. So it's providing new ways of creating value for their customers.
I have a follow-up questions. I just want to know whether you have done the validation based on the historical data. If you have, then you know what is the sort of the price improvement or the revenues improvement based on your model.
Yeah, so we haven't got to that stage at the moment. So this first deployment we're underway is about to go live, and once we finish that process, we'll know what the dollar increments are about. So the assumption have been based on the modeling that we've done in conjunction with our partners. But we've been able to extract historic data, model booking uptake curves, and from that uptake curve, that forecast, you make an assessment against the available capacity on a vessel voyage, and then you make a price adjustment based on a notion of price elasticity that can get set. Eventually, all these points get observed through transactional data.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I have a question regarding whether would the container shipping lines be really your only potential customers that will be interested in the systems and software? Would there be other potential ways to commercialize this technology and software?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started with the container shipping lines, and that's the first target market. But really, we see an application for any transport asset operator, somebody that has a perishable capacity that needs to be sold, someone that needs to optimize the price and have it delivered to the customer. So we see a potential application, I think, next within the car carrier and the ro-ro sector, then eventually for the NVOs and freight forwarders that have to sell their services to their direct shipper customers.
John, perhaps one more question. I mean, with your target market on the container liner industry, right? I mean, the market is extremely hot now. Market has been, somewhat a bit sluggish. How do you see this being sustainable across different market cycles?
I think it comes down to being able to optimize cargo flows for the shipping line. So it all comes down to that real-time inventory management, awareness of space availability on the vessel, equipment availability at the depots. So they make sure that they're moving containers from areas of surplus to deficit to service their entire customer base and their global network systems as well. It's trying to disconnect all these independent service loops in a silo to a connected real-time operating system.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's come back to Singapore. Insoles, diabetes, slip, trips, and falls, right? Insoles. So what kind of combination is this? It's really hard to crack. So let's invite FlexoSense, Lai Peng, to solve this riddle for us.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Lai Peng. So today we're going to talk about the slips and trips. We have an LOI from these three co-creators, and in fact, we have 2 to 3 more interested in pilots. Everyone here has experienced a slip or trip before. We never think too much about it. But in the US, it's costing more than $19 billion a year. In Singapore, for last year, they're looking at more than 18,000 years of lost productivity. Our smart insole with embedded sensors can play a part. It can detect in real time and track also the slips, trips, and falls, among other things. The dashboard enables remote monitoring as well as timely intervention. Together with these other insights, over time, you can actually have better inform the manpower resource allocation planning. we did some data collection at Keppel FELS shipyard. And this is a mock work in progress dashboard. You have worker profile, traffic light, and you can also inform later on the potential risk of MSDs, which is the #1 occupational disease in Singapore here. Now the temperature, kind of like the heat map, can also inform maybe new hazards which were never discovered before. For example, a very slight slip in the uneven floor. So we started in the medical application, looked at sports and wellness, and thanks to the Pier 71 program, we discovered a much bigger market. We have got to focus on the maritime because it contributes a significant part of the industry, economy, and it has very stringent requirements around slip, strips, and falls. So all these are universal problems which we can solve and scale to the other industries. And we can help to reduce human and financial costs before anything can happen. So our revenue model is ready to look at hardware, software, and support. This is a very conservative market sizing, looking at English countries. We aspire to maybe take part in the Accent program in 3 years' time. Rome is not built on a day. We're going to discuss this with ASME and WSHI on prioritizing this. And our competitors are actually the watch currently and the arm wearable, which are hazards. So we are more cost effective, will be unobtrusive. And at the same time, we have all these additional capabilities with customization of the dashboard as well as insole and make in Singapore. So these are our co-founders. I'm full-time and Mark is full-time. And I have a panel of advisors who are with years of experience. So for the millions of workers out there and the employers, we're here to de-risk the accidents waiting to happen. Thank you.
I asked the first question. Just now you say that you have done the validations and all this. That's great. But can you tell me the percentage that your system cannot detect?
Okay. So, like I said, Rome was not built in a day. So we're actually adapting from a medical application with diabetic foot ulcer because we're detecting the ulceration, not detecting, sorry, preventing re-ulceration. So the accuracy part we have not done yet. In fact, that's the next step of the journey that we're going to take with the Keppel FELS worker. So, but we did some, after when you come through our booth, we did some very early data collection. And actually when we shared the data with ASME, they were actually surprised that we were able to pick up some stuff. Like for example, when there is heavy duty work going on. So that informs the kind of physicality of the task at hand. And over time, maybe we even talk about the fatigue and whatever not. So a long way of saying that, no, we have that, don't have that number yet, but we will, it's a journey that we're working towards.
I'm quite curious about, the fatigue just now you mentioned, right? How do you detect I'm tired?
Oh, okay.
Worker is really, really tired. You need to
yes.
work, right?
Yeah. So because of so I'm very interested in everything to do with the feet, right? So we are really into, in fact, reading a lot of, publications, PubMed, right? Anything to do with feet. So our pressure sensor, right? Even while we are standing here, right, we actually all have sway. So that's what they call the postural sway, right? When a person is fatigued, the way you walk in a straight line, we can, there's a difference in the stride, number one. And number two, also your postural sway will be very different too. So it's a combination of a sensor in the insole, as well as the IMU that we have in the insole too will detect your motion too. So it's the combinations.
Yeah, maybe I have a follow-up question. So how do you need to calibrate, the sensor?
Yes.
And so it has to be calibrated with every single worker?
One-time calibration. And in fact, that's an interesting question. Because we deal with, again, going back to the medical application. So we benchmark ourselves the so-called gold standard of the calibration. But then when the engineer came and taught us how to do it, it's like, not really, The sensors, in the words of somebody else, say they are over-engineered, right? And they break down. In fact, they cost a lot to buy. So we're actually trying to bring something that is, again, that's very scientific, so-called, at a higher level, down to the individual person. Because a lot of the calibration right now on the sensors, they're actually used for really clinical research only. Whereas what we're doing now is bring it to the individual level. And the calibration, we're actually very comparable to them in terms of the accuracy and whatever now.
Yeah, so so if you need to calibrate, how often do you need to replace the sensor?
That's a good question. Right now, the replacement cycle we're anticipating is every 6 to 12 months for the insole.
Just to understand your perspective of the target market, and is there sort of any specific segments in maritime that you're looking at? Because different workers in different segments,
Yes, correct.
different movements and different requirements.
Yeah. So we're very thankful again for Pier 71 to introduce us to Keppel FELS shipyard. So we'll start with the shipyard workers, kind of open air, and because ours is Bluetooth connection, so we can start with that as a low-hanging fruit, right? Yes, we have a lot of input from everybody else to say that, hey, what about, off the sea, there's low connectivity. So just now my slide say, it's a journey. Rome was not built in a day, We might have to rethink outside the box of the existing solution, but see whether we can work with even other partners, other startups, right? When the drone come in, how can we tap into maybe some of the connectivity there?
I just want to ask a quick questions, right? You have a Keppel FELS shipyard and all this. What are the negative feedback to you?
Negative feedback, currently is because our first version, which is actually going through patient trial now with 2 hospitals, is the electronics is outside, which I'll show you at the booth too. Our intention has always been to embed it into the insole itself. So the negative part is that thing is hanging out currently. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lai Peng. Are you wearing the insole right now?
No.
Just curious.
I wish I can.
Maybe we can try it later. All right, so for worker safety, we have Teamers. They have a very comprehensive solution consisting of wearable devices, communication infrastructure, cloud and mobile apps to manage also slip, trips, and falls. Naren?
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm Naren. I'm from Temas. We are a joint venture between Temasek and UST. And again, it's more of STF. What you see is a major injuries data in Singapore. And you see that STF is the #1 cause, as well as for the last 5 years, there is no real improvement. The number remains the same. And this is so much what a traditional safety can do. That means it is high time we look at a digital solution. That's where NaviSafe comes. So NaviSafe is a complete package of wearables, communication infrastructure, cloud application, mobile apps, everything offered at a per month, per worker subscription price. Again, we took about 2 years to develop this. We had our initial trials in construction sites of Jacobs. Then we got our first order from PUB. We had a 9-month run. We clocked about 100,000 hours and hardened the product. Just to illustrate the solution, a worker, say a shipyard worker, comes to the site, picks up one of these devices, badges in, then he becomes a connected worker, and then he enters into a very safe and secure site, which is geo-fenced, which is time-fenced. Then he walks about the site doing his day-to-day job, and then an STF happens, right? And alerts are generated immediately, and then whomsoever is concerned can look at the cause and then fix that immediately. What it really happens is that every worker becomes a sensor for you, and over a period of time, the safety level of the site increases. And NaviSafe is just not an STF detection solution. It has activity tracking, you can do evacuation, then you can do unauthorized entry prevention, many features. End of the day, he badges out, and you get a lot of analytics. We have also added some gamification to make safety a little bit more interesting. One of the problems, again, just want to show an example of how did we harden the solution. Even also we know like false positives is one of the major problems for many of the digital solutions, right? So we studied hundreds of fall data, implemented a machine learning model to really make fall accurate. Just to show our go-to-market strategy, we have a simple subscription-based pricing model per month per worker fee. We offer free trials today because our product is so hard now. We offer free trials. We have our beachhead customers with PUB, and then as a part of this program, we are actually got access to Keppel FELS. We are expecting an LOI from them. Then we have global access through Jacobs and UST. From a revenue potential, we are looking at something like 10 million in 2 years with a very conservative estimate of TAM and so on. Team structure between me and my architect, we have launched multiple products, and we have also created a lot of IoT talent in Singapore through our IMDA CLT program, and we have got extended talent access through UST. Just to summarize, thank you.
Just now you mentioned that you have PUB and also Keppel FELS.
Yeah.
Are they your customers or clients, or they are just doing a POC with you?
Yeah, PUB is our customer. Our first order was from PUB.
They paid.
They paid. They are paid customers. 140 workers used our product for 9 months in a full run. So that's when we really got the confidence, and then it is they who referred us to MOM and then subsequently to the MPA challenge, this challenge.
What makes them give you the purchase order?
Okay, they had looked at about 8 different products in between before us. They had even tried one pilot before, it didn't work. So they saw our thing working in the construction sites where we piloted the Jacobs. So it was hard enough for them to try it out.
Right. Now this is, I mean, now of course it's going to be in the maritime and work probably in the port and all this, close to the water. Is there any reason why your device is IP65?
Okay, we initially made it for construction sites, so we made it just splash proof. So it will withstand rain.
How easy to change to at least 67 or 68?
It is, you need to spend some money, that's all. The moment we have a request.
You could fall into the water.
No. I'm just telling to redesign the device, the enclosure we have to redesign to IP67, that's all. No, we just need to redesign if there is a need. We just need to redesign the enclosure and get it made. But the board and everything remains the same.
Hi, there are 2 questions. One is perhaps around the competitive landscape. There are a couple of, I would say, pretty well developed and matured competitors. So how does the solutions you provide is differentiated from the other? That's my first question. Secondly is, pivoting from construction to maritime, looking at the team, what is your plans for human capital development in maritime domain?
Okay, so first is so pivoting. One of the some of the problem statements slightly remains the same, whether it is the safety, the fall, slip detection, unauthorized entry, these kind of things remains the same, except that environment is slightly different. I mean, if you go to a port or a yard, it is slightly different. So we do trials there, and then we make subsequent changes. That's what we will be doing. And then we are also in the roadmap looking at an ATEX kind of certification, where if you want to take it to an explosive kind of, but again, it's mapped with the pipeline and things like that. From a competition, we know a couple of companies which have got a quite mature products, but not at our price points. And the other thing is, what we offer is, because we being in the market, we validating that we also understood that people only will spend so much for safety. So we bring it at a very affordable pricing point, because today the rack price itself is about $50 per month per worker, all inclusive, which includes the device and cloud application, mobile app, support, communication infrastructure, everything bundled together. We want to make it friction free, easy for people to use. And the other thing that we are now doing is adding more devices. This is a custom device. We are adding more standard devices like watches, etc. to the party.
Maybe I have one additional question. So in terms of expandability, of the device and the sensor itself, what are the potential in terms of how it can be, say, further enhanced or developed to, say, better suit the maritime landscape? So
one is, see, today itself it has a capability to do messaging. There is an LED screen here. You can send evacuate and those kind of messages here. And it has got a distress button. And today it has got NB, it is on NB-IoT. So maritime means we are only looking at ports and yards, not really the ships, because today it's not really. So, and wherever there is no NB-IoT connectivity, we enhance connectivity by putting BLE gateways. And we have tested all that in seamless switching between NB-IoT and BLE gateways and all that. So for maritime industry, more enhancements is going to come in terms of the enclosure, in terms of the ATEX certification. And we are also want to enhance today our fall model, right? We want to enhance it a little bit more in terms of detecting the slip and trip and fall, distinguish between a slip, trip and a fall. That is the model maturity that we want to get to.
Okay, that's all the questions we have.
Thank you so much.
Round of applause to teamers. So from safer crew, now we move on to talking about smarter ships. Next up, let's have iGauge share with us how they turn analog systems digital. So we have Rodion, who flew in from France just last week.
Sorry. Hello, my name is Rodion and I'm CEO of a startup called iGauge. At iGauge, we say that any ship can become smart and we know how to make it happen. And our first customers can confirm that we do. Well, smart ships, digital solutions, they are great. Everybody's talking about them, promising you fuel economies and other cost reductions. But when you actually start deploying those solutions, very soon you will discover some blocking problems. At first, you would find out that on majority of the ships, the equipment as machinery is not digitalized, it is analog. Of course, retrofit solutions exist, but they are extremely expensive. What about modern equipment? Many manufacturers are in fact locking down their equipment and trying to sell you your own data. Well, yes, digital solutions are great, but ship digitalization is painful. So very often you end up with manually collected data that's averaged over time and often contains errors. Therefore, at iGauge, we created a simple and cost-efficient ship digitalization solution, compatible with equipment of any type and any manufacturer. It collects high-quality and high-frequency data from any analog or digital equipment in a contactless and non-invasive way, even if this equipment is locked by manufacturer. Then it transmits this collected data to a shore, where it is analyzed and combined with other sources of data for decision-making in fleet operations. Unfortunately, due to pending patents, I cannot disclose technical details in a public pitch, but our solution allows us to collect the data and create a digital twin of a ship that runs 24 hours a day and gives you a 360-degree view of your ship. Thanks to iGauge, we let you unlock the benefits of the data. We help you to reduce fuel consumption and emissions, to lower downtime and reduce your maintenance costs and workload on the crew. Here, if we took an example of Panamax bulk carrier, the total expected economy is at least $280,000 per ship per year. And if we look at the global market size for data-driven solutions in shipping, that is $15 billion per year. Among our first customers, we have MC Shipping, that's a part of Mitsubishi Group, and also Saudi Aramco. We have more clients coming on with our pilot projects. And thanks to Pier 71, we were able to talk to more companies in Singapore and heading towards signing an LOI. We are a team of dedicated founders with complementary skill and backgrounds. I'm Rodion, I have a background in software development, but more importantly, I come from a family of marine engineers. Victoria, our CTO, and data scientist. She had also great experience in entrepreneurship, and Anton has been working in sales, international sales all over the world. Thank you very much. We'll be happy to have you on board.
Very great, Hector. You managed to save 5%, of the fuel and all this, right? How many system you have deployed in the ships so far?
We've got 6 ships. Our solution is deployed on 6 ships, and there are 4 in progress. Okay. These are ships of different types, like bulk carriers, tankers, offshore support, and at different ages.
I see. So all of them actually managed to save, say, 5%?
No. So you're talking about the benefits, right?
Yes.
There are 3 pillars. Okay. One is fuel consumption, at least 5%. How? For example, with fouling detection. So you can reduce the drag of the ship, and so you reduce the fuel consumption. Second part, you can lower the vessel downtime, because when you have data, you can start predicting failures. So you're actively reducing downtime of a vessel. Here was an example. It's a Panamax bulk carrier. It's $25,000 per day. Then we have with the data, and we have one client who's implementing condition monitoring. With condition monitoring, you can implement condition-based maintenance. You transition from planned maintenance to a maintenance where you actually maintain the equipment as it is being used. So the economists, as I explained, for this type of a ship, we estimated $280,000 per year. Half of them will go to operator, the economy, fuel economy, and the other part will go to ship owner. So we can serve both sides.
I see. So in terms of the return on investment, how long it sort of get back your investment?
Yeah, really great question. If you talk to industry experts, they will tell you the minimum price for digitalization of a ship, like basic $50,000. Our prices start at 5,000 euros, installation price, and then you have a recurring fee depending on what you need to do, just data collection, analytics, etc.
So roughly, I mean, 12 months, you get back?
Definitely.
Okay, so what is the reason why all the ship owners, I mean, not lining up to sign up from you?
Great question. Again, here, as you saw, we have 2 parts. Charters, operators, looking for one thing, fuel consumption. It's important for them. But then you have ship owners on the other side with technical managers with different ideas. So for us, the beachhead customer right now is a ship owner who is also operator. The best, so it who operates bulk carriers from 4 to 15 years old. Okay? And this is where we target ourselves right now. And we have our first customers. So yes, it will take time. Digitalization is painful for everybody, and so we need to go there together.
Thanks for your presentation. So I'm just wondering, in terms of the market positioning, I think in the materials itself, you do highlight that it is actually a very good way, to make all ships smart, especially those more than 10 years ago. I'm just wondering in terms of whether this means that there is the value proposition for newer ships is actually diluted because all these ships will have new systems and...
I'll give you 2 facts. First, as I mentioned, even on modern equipment, it is locked by manufacturer. They want money for it, for the data. So we do have customers with modern ships. Second one, bulk carriers, modern bulk carriers built in Japan, they have 0 digitalization. Very good customer for us. So yes, market is shrinking, definitely, but it's so big right now, and the urge is so big right now, so we can be there. And then, since we are sitting at the data, this is us who creates the data, we can use it and build all those models on top of this data.
Yeah, I've got a follow-up question on the market you're targeting. Sort of, I mean, it's digitalization of legacy equipment is fantastic, but it's just sort of trying to understand a bit better. Sort of, you have certain more focus in certain areas, whether it's vessels by age or market
right,
size,
exactly.
And secondly, I believe there's quite a lot of competitors in the market right now.
Yes.
So again, trying to understand what's the differentiation that you have with away the competitive landscape.
Right. Sorry, first question.
Target market.
Target market, yes, exactly. So we have studied different eligibility criteria for our solution, including age, type, but also operating model, right? And we estimate that the eligibility of our solution is for 33% of the world ships, that is around 30,000 ships. Can I answer the second?
Yeah, go ahead, Nishala Sen.
And the second was, and the second was for competitors. Equipment manufacturers propose expensive upgrade, become something cheaper. Then there are integrators, but they can only integrate with equipment that already has digital interfaces, Kongsberg, right? Sensors, you can buy sensors yourself, but you will run out of money very fast because you pay for every sensor you install. And ship owners, they will confirm that straight away that this is not really an option for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, iGage and Rodion. And we have 2 startups left. Next up, we'd like to invite Natalia from Weave Air to share about helping the industry to assess risks more accurately and simplifying the claims management process for all parties. So we're just going to have Natalia coming up really quick in a bit.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's great to see everyone and honored to be part of here. Thank you all the judges. My name is Natalia and I'm a co-founder and CEO of Weave Air. What do all these pictures have in common? Well, premiums have been increasing dramatically over the last few months. And there is serious consequences, not just on the bottom line, but on the environment and human lives lost. It's also a big part of R&D roadmap for Singapore. The great organization and innovators like GUARD and PCL have been telling us that they are looking for a better solution. And the reason there is not good solution right now, it's a very time-consuming process. There is limited data available, and the current processes is not predictive. I spent over 10 years as an engineer with risk management and analyzing the data. And we are developing a good solution for this industry. We are reducing cost, time, and risks for insurance claims and loss prevention for ship owners, managers, and insurers. Weaver provides 10 to 20x return of investment by reducing cost, saving time, preventing incidents, and increasing revenue. And we do this with subscription and licensing. There is 3 core proprietary unique solutions. Unique data collection system where we collect data internally and externally. Real-time risk rating model that is very unique in our company. And also timely risk prevention system that depends on our unique data. We have a solution that provides better benchmarking, accelerate decisions, improve forecasting, and align with smart ship industry and risk rating improvement. The solution is faster, it's better, more accurate, and it's also less expensive. Let's say you're a dry bulk carrier. What Weaver does, it can save you time, it can save you cost, it can provide over 2 million in value by telling you what cargo exactly will get damaged and what you can do to prevent that. We already have secured LOI and pilots with GUARD and PCL and have confirmed over 20 other companies who are interested. This extends across many different sectors, including cargo risk, emissions, crew safety, and DNG, as well as cyber security risks. We have a scalable model where each company introduces us to about 15 other companies, so we can spread this very quickly. And we already have pilots in about a few months, and commercial sales will start later this year, and we are able to build a new standard. We already have great traction in Singapore, North America, and Asia. And we all have over 20 awards, including Ocean Exchange. We have an amazing team to make this possible with background that's perfect for this solution. And we invite you to join us to be part of the biggest global trend started in Singapore to reduce cost, reduce environmental damage, save lives, and create a new standard. Please, don't wait for the incidents to happen, prevent them. Thank you very much, and please join us to make this possible.
Just a quick questions, right? Just now you mentioned you have insurance company, you have a ship owner and operator and all this. From the ship point of view, actually, probably they already bought the insurance. In a way, they already transfer the risk to the insurance company, I mean the ship owner. So in your case, who is your major target clients? Is it the insurance company or the ship company?
That's a really great question. So our main target clients is the insurance company, P&I and H&M Clubs. Initially, we're starting with P&I. They are very keen for this solution. They already looked at many solutions on the market. They could not find something that works for them. The problems for them is they're not collecting enough data through this insurance claim process. About 90%, 80 to 90% of the data does not actually get incorporated into proactive loss prevention strategies. So insurance industry is very keen. But we also talked to the ship managers and owners, and we were surprised that they tried many solutions on the market, including those provided by the insurance companies, but they're still relying on Excel spreadsheets. They could not find a good solution. They're saying the current system for tracking claims is designed for the insurance, it's not designed for us. So we found that it's actually also a market for the ship owners and ship managers, which we could easily tackle and translate this solution to. But our main paying customer is the insurance.
My follow-up questions on that, because I mean, I read your materials, is that, you know, you managed to extract a lot of data and even send out for the VSAT or 4G, you know, and in a near real-time basis. During the course of engagement with the company, do you encounter any resistance from them? Because this can be quite intrusive to them, you know, because I may not want you to know so much. The insurance company want to know, but you know, the shipping company may not want you to know so much. So have you encountered any issues?
This is an amazing question. We have actually a solution exactly for this. Of course, it's a very proprietary data, and the only way we can make this really work is we are making it anonymized. So essentially the way it works is we are collecting all of this data. They don't specifically know. We are not here to, you know, point any fingers. So what we do is we use this data as a market intelligence. So essentially what insurance company wants to know is just, they want to see the trends. They want to see how many companies, how many ship owners and managers, what kind of predictors, what kind of variables predict certain type of loss. So for insurance, they actually don't care which ship owner it is. They just want to see the trends. This is something they don't have right now. So this is a very strong part of the system. It's completely anonymized. Thank you very much. It's a great question, and it's a very important part of our solution.
Anonymize it. When you send those information out to the insurance company, do you anonymize it?
Yes, exactly. We completely anonymize it.
Okay.
First of all, I think very commendable that you are tackling a real challenge in the industry and focusing on insurance, and that's great. My question is really around maritime domain expertise, you know, for your proposition to be successful, and I just want to understand your perspective, how you be looking to scale that and, you know, and bring that on board.
Yes, thank you so much for the question, Horven. Indeed, this is a very important point for us. Our solution was so interesting to many of the mentors of the program from Pier 71, as well as the great experts that we met through Sea Asia, for example, another conference we attended. We have a lineup of experts in maritime industry who are joining our company as advisors to make sure that this solution can be basically designed for the industry, and we already have them advising us right now. What we found is that they find our approach, which we already successfully deployed and have all kinds of paid projects with other companies in construction, transportation, real estate. They find it very interesting because it translates very easily to maritime, and that's why they want to help us. So we have 5 advisors who are joining our board right now in the maritime, from the ship owners, managers, technology solution providers for the maritime, as well as also insurance industry experts who join our board. Thank you.
I just have a quick question. So I noted from the presentation that you have market offices in the US, in Korea, and in Singapore. Yeah, so I'm just wondering in terms of, you know, if there's any particular focus that you want to grow and develop here in Singapore.
Great question. Thank you. In fact, Singapore is a market of focus for us. We have seen great traction so far already with other organizations. This is, we see it as a hub. So as earlier mentioned by the guest of honor from the Ministry of State of Transport, we see this, you know, the Silicon Valley of maritime. We are very passionate about maritime industry, and we see that our solution can generate a lot of value for the industry. And that's why we are very happy to be here as a base of our operations, from where we can do projects in Korea, in US, but it's like a center hub for us. We also were able to find a lot of very talented people like Eugene, who joined our team during this recent few months from NUS. So we are very happy to have this opportunity to be here and see it as a base for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Natalia. Well, last but not least, we do have Spin-Off Robotics to show us how their unmanned aerial vehicle can be used for cleaning toll structures from super trees at Gardens by the Bay all the way to cargo tanks. Chi Hao?
Hi, I'm Chi Hao, co-founder of Spin-Off Robotics. Cargo hold cleaning is costly, inefficient, and often dangerous. It costs $50,000 to clean, 4 days of downtime, and it incurs a loss of more than $120,000 in revenue during this period. And this is a $2 billion problem for the industry per cleaning. This operation is dangerous, as falling from heights is among the top 3 causes of fatal workplace injury worldwide. Spin-Off Robotics is cost-effective, efficient, and safer. We employ advanced data analytics for large-scale cleanliness detection and classification to optimize the cleaning process. We use the drone to replace human working at heights and heavy machineries to be able to perform the delicate task of pressure-sensitive, targeted, and attentive cleaning with the right pressure. And lastly, we have a remote job review system and drone control platform for operators to control this cleaning operation safely. Our key technology, we have 2 pieces here. The first is our proprietary patent-pending pressure control algorithm. This algorithm automatically controls the drone position and the nozzle to be able to apply fluid at the right place at the right pressure. The second is our know-how to integrate a multimodal teeter into the system. This teeter delivers power and fluid for continuous uninterrupted cleaning operation, maximizing the efficiency of the cleaning operation. And together, Spin-Off Robotics is really just cleaning done better. The cargo hold business globally is $1.2 billion or 600 million regionally. And we aim to capture a 15 million market size consisting of early adopters in the maritime sector. Our solution has gained traction from the built environment and maintenance sector. We are working with Land Transport Authority and Gardens by the Bay for sheltered linkway cleaning, super tree maintenance, and currently we are looking at potentially solar farm maintenance. And currently we are engaging with Tata NYK Shipping and Pacific Carriers Limited to test bed, validate, and adapt our solution for better cargo hold cleaning. And we want to tap on better conduit to market with strategic alliance and brand marketing. Our business model to drive adoption is really leasing and channel sales with a monthly software subscription for our intelligent job review and drone control platform. And we plan to use strategic partnership to be able to access the distribution network globally. We have a competent team with multidisciplinary and complementary skill sets to make this happen. We are a spin-off from SUTD, and we hope that we can really spin off and take off in the maritime sector. Thank you.
Fantastic. So I think apart from the safety benefit, what is the economic benefit? For example, the cargo hold cleaning and all this, right?
Yes, so just now, so from our customer interview, we quantified that each cleaning to turn over an entire bulk carrier, which is a dirty bulk carrier, with 7 cargo holds, takes 4 days, 120,000 economic loss, financial loss in earning, and 50K just to employ a shore, what do they call the shore gangs, to do the cleaning with cherry picker. Our operations, if we are able to use just one team of drones to clean everything per operation, we are actually only about 25% of the cost. And that is a very modest estimate of the cost savings here. Yeah, so each operation, we are actually causing less than $10,000.
So can I just saying that it is a 75% saving?
Yes, 75% saving. And this is a modest estimate here. Yeah.
I see. So then my follow-up question is, who actually has already give you a letter of intent, or or you just sort of are still testing with the customer?
Yeah, so we are trying to actively secure our letter of intent, and happy to share we are currently we have a verbal agreement with Pacific Carriers Limited, and now the letter of intent is undergoing due diligence to make sure that we craft this scope properly to be able to test bed and quantify all these savings so that we can better use this test bed to tell the maritime industry how fast we really are, how fast we are, how much can we clean, how cheap we can be. Yeah, so this is the goal, this is our next stage. Our next step is really to quantify all this value by testing our solution in the cargo hold and comparing with existing methods. Yeah.
In your pros and cons analysis, right, versus the existing practice, what is your cons?
What is our con? I would say that one con is that operating a drone system requires a skilled pilot. So, but this is not really a big con because operating a cherry picker also requires a licensed operator. So how we are intending to scale long term is like what I mentioned, we are actively developing our simple control interface. So that means we are trying to minimize the experience barrier that's really needed to control the drone. This is something that we are trying to invest for the long term so that anybody can really just take this drone and fly it. So a crew can fly with minimal experience.
So in one cleaning process, can you deploy, how many drones you can, maximum of drones you can deploy in one shot?
Yep. So it will really depend on how many skilled pilots there is to fly currently. So, but the good thing about our system is that we can clean all 7 cargo holds in parallel. Currently, the cleaning operations for cargo holds, they don't do it in parallel. They don't deploy 7 cherry picker into 7 cargo holds. We can actually do this easily because our system is really fast to deploy. It's just a man-pack portable system. Yeah.
Gee, I've got 2 questions. One is really around the solutions itself. What is the visual analytics capability just to ensure that the holes are cargo holes, as you mentioned, are clean to satisfaction? How do we know? So sort of around the solutions. The other part is really around your go-to-market strategy and how you look to commercialize, fund, and scale. You mentioned a little bit about scale, but if you can just talk through in 30 seconds, what's the plans for that?
Yeah, let me go to the second question first. So the go-to-market strategy is really, because we are not a cleaning company, we are a solution provider. We want to tap on cleaning providers out there. So we want to integrate ourselves into their pipeline, and they will be the one that will be able to push. We will tap on their customer base, we will tap on their conduit to market, and tap on their global distribution network. That is really our strategy, and that will allow us to scale really rapidly. The second part about cleaning satisfaction, this is what we are working on. To be able to give a visual interface for the human operators to be able to intervene at the end. So that means after the whole the cleaning job is done, first there's a cleaning report, show you how kind of a heat map in red and green, show you where we clean, where the water is being jetted on. And the second thing is that then the human is able to use this interface, look through and see, I think you missed this spot, then recontrol the drone to be able to perform additional cleaning if needed. Yeah.
Just now you mentioned in your presentation that there is various different ways of revenue. So leasing is one, software subscription is another. Can you maybe elaborate on the software subscription?
Yeah, so the software subscription is really for this ability to be able for our software to output to you a digital report, auditable digital report to show that yes, we have done it, because currently the system is really, you hire someone to do it, someone say that I clean it, and then you clean it. So the first thing is you get progress monitoring, you are able to digitalize this cleaning. Second thing is you are able to take control of the UAV through this very simple interface as compared to needing like a full drone pilot with skilled experience using standard, hard to use remote control to fly. Yeah, this is what we are trying to put on top of our leasing and channel sales model. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chi Hao.
Thank you.
All right, and that's it. That's the end of the startup pitches. Right now it's time for our judges to work very, very hard. I would like to also tell you that you have about 10 minutes to do your deliberation. Extremely hard work. Hardest of them all. All right, by the way, Jess, we didn't mention what our grand finalists are going to walk away with from this competition here today.
Yeah, that's right. So at the end of our judges' time together, they will come back and tell us the winners. And the winners are competing for 3 cash prizes that total up to 18,000 Singapore dollars. So all teams are also eligible to apply for the MPA grants, which is up to $50,000 each. And these grants, they will support their proof of concept development in partnership with a maritime corporate locally. So in fact, we actually already have 11 of our startups in this year's batch that have already secured letters of intent to pursue a post-program pilot or POC with maritime corporates.
Yeah, hence you've been hearing them mention that they have secured their LOIs. So Pier 71, which is also short for Port Innovation Ecosystem Reimagined at Block 71, was set up in 2018 and has been a very successful partnership between MP and NUS via NUS Enterprise. We are very proud to share that both organizations will be continuing to drive Pier 71 forward to be the enabler behind Maritime Singapore, a leading marine tech startup hub in the world.
So with that, we'll now move on to the MOU signing, which will be taking place at the site here. And we'd like to invite our signatories up. So our signatories will be Mr. Kenneth Lim, Assistant Chief Executive of MPA Industry, and Professor Chi Yao Ming, Associate Vice President, Innovation and Enterprise, NUS, to sign the MOU, please. And with that, we'd also like to invite the witnesses, Mr. Ngiam Cheong Ming, Chairman of MPA, Professor Freddie Boy, Deputy President, Innovation and Enterprise, NUS, and Mr. Chee Hong Tat, Senior Minister of State, Ministry for Transport.
Can we maybe have SMS Chi to stand in between the two witnesses? Yeah.
And we can now take a photo, please.
One for the memories and many more memories to come. So thank you very much. And we'd like to invite everyone to take their seat again.
So this MOU definitely marks another milestone for Pier 71. And Pier 71 sure has come a long way. So did you know that over the past 3 years of this... This year, 4 years of Pier 71, we received over 600 proposals in total worldwide, and they've been tackling a wide range of problem statements, actually 83 innovation opportunities from various parts of the maritime sector. We've also accelerated close to 60 startups, and out of these, 32 have received MPA's grant funding of almost $2 million in total. And this has allowed them to test bed their solutions with about 50 maritime partners and collaborators. And also, more than a third of their solutions have been deployed in the maritime sector, resulting in cost savings, productivity improvements, and just new services and products for the sector. And we also have 9 startups having received investment funding.
Yeah, in actual fact, 5 of our alumni expanded their businesses overseas, and 4 overseas startups also incorporated their businesses here in Singapore throughout the past 4 years. And you mentioned the 9 alumni. We're certainly very proud of their achievements. And who are the 9, right? They are Claritex, Podcast, Performance Rotors, DLT Ledgers, Ocean Freight Exchange, SHIP, previously Ship Supplies Direct, Kanda, and of course NUS spin-off, BX being the most recent alumni to raise an undisclosed 7-figure investment. And in total, they raised over $20 million, not including the undisclosed amount.
And we really could not have done this without our corporate partners' support. And so we'd really like to also thank them for their unwavering support over the years. So many of them have stayed with us through this journey, working tirelessly with us to uncover opportunities for innovation and eagerly test out new technologies. And as we hear from the startups earlier when they were pitching, many of them also took your feedback very seriously as they started to refine their solutions. So we want to thank our corporate partners a lot for your support. And we hope to continue working with you closely in the next phase.
Yeah, definitely. And how have our corporate partners supported us, right? Notwithstanding providing them with environments to test bed solutions, technologies. But I'm sure you've also had nominated your experts within your own organizations to help our startups understand the challenges even better, and so that there's a better product market fit as well. So not forgetting, besides our corporate partners, we need to remember also our institutes of higher learning, such as NUS itself, SUTD, NTU, and more of them for always churning out the best technologies. And we also look forward to making more connections with local and overseas partners, as well as entrepreneurship hubs all around the world to grow an even more vibrant maritime innovation ecosystem in Singapore. So do join us at our new phase of Pier 71.
So some of the new phase elements were mentioned in the speeches that we heard earlier. So we have the Pier 71 Ascend program, also the investor networking opportunities that's coming up.
Yeah, and we would have a more robust Pier 7 lending pad program as well. So we look forward to more overseas startups come and explore the markets in Singapore, and we're more than happy to receive you and to support your journey here in Singapore as well.
Yep, and of course also for those who are physically present, you would have received the Marine Tech Startup Playbook that can be found on your seats. So this playbook gives you a quick summary of the various resources that the ecosystem has for tech startups around the world to come and see how you can land and expand and grow in the maritime sector in Singapore. For those who don't have the physical copy, you can find it online on MPA's website or gogov.sg/marinetech/startup playbook. So yeah, you can find that, and all the resources in here would be helpful for you.
Yeah, and Pier 7 actually has an office. We have our own space at Block 71, which is what economists dubbed as the world's most tightly packed entrepreneurship hub in the world. So that is our office right there, bottom right and top right, no, left. So welcome everyone to visit us. Maybe not now, we're not really open right now, but then when we reopen again, we would love to receive guests.
So, okay, we now have another MOU as well to watch. So this is a new data sharing partnership between MPA and Wärtsilä that has just been forged. And we will be watching the MOU signing video that marks this collaboration. So this MOU was just signed recently, and we will have the video coming up shortly. So the MOU was signed by Mr. David Fu, Assistant Chief Executive Ops Tech of the MPA, and Mr. Sean Fernbeck, President of Wärtsilä, and it was witnessed by Ms. Kwale Hoon, Chief Executive of MPA, and Ambassador NT, Ambassador of Finland to Singapore. So this MOU will enhance collaboration in a few areas, including fostering system interoperability and accelerating digitalization, and strengthening cyber and data security. And as SMS Chi earlier mentioned in his speech, this will be beneficial to the ecosystem to allow more marine tech players to benefit from this increased data sharing.
So I guess our judges are not back yet, so we would have a very impromptu conversation. That's why I told her only 10 minutes.
So Ning, you have been the longest member of Pier 71, being here since day one. What's your best memory of Pier 71 these years?
Okay, I wasn't really expecting that question, so I think I need a seat here because she just put me on a hot seat. So anyway, politically correct answer, but also a very truthful answer would be actually all the Smart Port Challenge Grand Finals. Well, for us, it's a lot of hard work, but I think the hardest work is really put in by the grand finalists themselves, all the finalists, all the mentors, and all the instructors, because we have witnessed the journey ever since day one. We've been asking very tough questions in our interviews. Every year we receive over 200 applications, and we really, really thank our industry veterans who work very, very closely with us. Sometimes we give them only maybe 30 proposals to go through, but then they actually go through all the 200, every single one of them. Yeah. And it's really, really hard work. We spend about, 6 hours a day going through everything and asking the toughest questions. And then we go through Pier 7 Accelerate as well, and then we work with our program partners this year with Institute of Engineering Leadership in NUS, curating programs. And every year we hope that these programs will help to allow our startups to understand the industry a lot more. So that's why we also integrate elements, for example, doing networking with the maritime industry. We find that extremely useful and extremely important because that's also the fastest way for our startups to learn what is critical to them what is critical to the industry. Yeah. So, and that culminates in the grand final where we have a show and tell, right? So we have the grand finalists pitching here, and then we also have the exhibition booth segment later on. So we hope that you take time to go through all the booths and then to learn their journey and understand what are the applications for maritime industry, and I hope that you continue to support them as well.
Yeah, it's been a long journey for them, but also I think a very fruitful one. Also very encouraged to see the strong bonds of friendship that form within the cohorts as well. And also as we continue to engage our alumni, even after the end of the year and the end of each cohort, we also hope to continue to provide them the continued support that they need to understand the sector more, to engage and to take the next steps that they need.
Yeah, on that note, I'd like to give a shout out to our alumni because they always come back every year contributing to this ecosystem, and there really isn't a community without people in it. So the alumni, how have they given back, right? So they come back sometimes as mentors. They share their findings, their learnings. They help to make connections as well. For example, Keith has always been a great supporter. He was here last year at Grand Final.
Performance rotas. And so he's always great at sharing his the challenges that he went through as part of the SmartPort Challenge cohort. And most of our participants here this year also find the sharing sessions very, very useful. So that's a huge shout out to our alumni. Not just Keith, but many more as well. Well, this year has been extremely difficult and challenging because we are unable to do most of our sessions face-to-face. Initially, we planned the whole thing to be done face-to-face, but then again, that's life, right? So we just have to adapt. But I would say equally, the virtual experience has also been helpful and useful because without having to do face-to-face, we can actually engage with more people. So now networking sessions that we did was not really confined to an X number of people, but we allowed more people to come in and to do networking over Zoom. Yeah, that's right. So we look forward to seeing our 2021 batch also continuing to support our next future batches of startups.
Yeah, and since we have corporate members here, maybe we just share, in case you're new to Peers Anyone, how can you actually participate and be part of Peers Anyone? So we typically have a maritime innovation workshop earlier in the year, sometime around February and March, and that is where we will invite corporates with challenges that you find you need solutions to, and then you are excited to work with startups, and that's when you can join us and uncover the opportunities you have for them. And right on time, we have our judges back. Phew.
Thank you very much, judges, for your hard work. So just before we invite Mr. Ho Wing Yu on stage to announce the winners, and just before we announce that, we would like to invite our guest of honor, SMS Chi, on stage again to give out the trophies to the winning teams, and Professor Boy to give out the checks, please. So,
Professor?
SMS Chi here and Professor here. And Wing Yu, can we invite you to, thank you. We can send it right. Yeah, please.
All right.
Maybe just hang on a little bit. We'll have to invite a few more people for the photo taking as well.
Right. We'd also like to invite Mr. Nyam Chang Ming, Chairman, MPA, and Mr. Kenneth Lim as well to join us for the photo taking on stage. So Chairman can be here and Kenneth can be there. The photo, I think, will be taken from here. So yeah.
Okay. All right, whenever you're ready, you can announce the winners.
So we'll start with the third prize winner first.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Can we do the prize winner? Okay. All right. Well, first of all, to say that the judges have reached a unanimous decision. It's not been too tough, but with a very robust and interesting discussion, and frankly, quite a lot of fun as well. We have got three, I would say, outstanding winners, but I must say that all the 8 solutions are extremely exciting, and we really are very heartened to see, the whole innovation landscape and what we have been talking about really coming to life, and we're very happy to see what's in it for today. So if I could announce the second runners-up. The second runners-up is Spin-Off Robotics.
Woo.
Congratulations, Chiao and team.
Maybe maybe Chihao, you can stand in the middle.
And the check as well.
Yeah, and the check. Chihao, you want to hold on to the check? Yeah.
The runners-up is EcoWorth. Andre and team, congratulations. And the winners of our Smart Pot Challenge 2021 is Refair. Natalie, team, well done. Thank you very much. Congratulations, the owners. My fellow judges and I would like to make a special mention to iGauge.
Oh, iGauge.
Very commendable, your endeavors to digitalize legacy equipment.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all our VIPs for giving away the prizes. We maybe invite you back to your seats, please. And congratulations once again to our 4 winners with a special mention as well. We also want to congratulate all our startups who have made it this far.
And we have now come to the end of our program, but the finalists are ready for you at their booths later on downstairs.
So thank you once again to all our guests here at I3 and also I4 buildings, friends online, and to all the teams. So before we say goodbye, let's hop over to I4 again just to give them a wave. Hello. Hi, Melinda. Hi, everyone there.
Yes, thank you. Here at I4, we also like to congratulate all the winners and all the teams who presented today. See you.
See you. Bye.
Well, stay safe, everyone, and we'll see you again next year. Okay, so we'll start with the tour, and maybe we can have our SMS's group to tour first. Brian will lead the tour.
And for the rest of them, please also follow your group leaders who will guide you through these later.